Greetings and welcome to the latest episode of Preserve the 80s. I actually haven't shot a video in a while, or I should say I haven't posted a video in a while. I did make one a little under a month ago about Cracker Barrel and some of the items that could be purchased there, but something went wrong with that and only the audio came through, so I'll have to see if I can salvage that. But for now, this video is going to focus on something different. This is not food related. This is a public service announcement advising whoever sees this to not do business with JetBlue. I recently had a flight to Jacksonville, and on the way there we were on American Airlines. On the way back it was to be JetBlue, and it was the last night of our honeymoon, about 8 hours before we were supposed to get on our return flight to get home. And JetBlue contacted me to say that the flight had been canceled. No explanation as to why. And I tried calling them, spent several hours on hold, and they ultimately determined that that flight was canceled. The flights for the next day were canceled. There wouldn't be anything available until Tuesday. And the original flight was for Sunday morning. So needless to say, that spoiled the mood a bit on the final night of the honeymoon. Spent the night arguing with JetBlue, trying to either get a refund, which they would not agree to do, or to find an alternate flight, or see if there were other airlines that could make the flight home happen, and there were not. Ultimately, they determined that there was a flight leaving from Orlando later on Sunday afternoon, so I would have to drive to the Orlando airport to get there on time. After much fighting, they agreed to not charge me for a new flight. The canceled flight was not refunded, and due to their mistake, I was going to have to fly out of Orlando, and they were going to charge me for that flight as well, but I was able to talk them down from that, and that didn't happen. However, it did require me to rent my car for an extra day, and in addition to the cost of renting it an additional day, I had to drive it to the airport in Orlando, for which there was quite a hefty charge. Came to $498.51 through Enterprise. I contacted JetBlue about this as well, as this was an expense I could not afford, and they assured me that because this was their error, I would be fully compensated for that charge. This wasn't until I was able to get home and speak with them, because by the time all the arrangements were made, I was far too tired to do anything else. I had to get to bed and get up early the next day to drive over to Orlando. So once I got home, I again spent several hours on hold. I believe it was close to 7, and was told that yes, I'd be fully refunded for the car rental expense. All I had to do was give them a copy of the first rental invoice and the second, so they could see the difference between what I was originally charged and what I was charged after the change in schedule and the extended rental and the transportation to Orlando. So I sent them that, didn't hear back for a while, so I had to call them again, because I was told that I would be getting refunded within 10 business days, or at very least being contacted by someone. Spent several more hours on hold. Eventually went to their live chat, which took a few more hours, and finally I spoke with someone who again reassured me, yes, you will be refunded completely for this purchase, and for the purchase of, well, for the rental car expense. And I once again got the 10 business days thing. They said just fill out this loss waiver form, or loss claim form, not waiver, loss claim form, and send it to us, which I did. 10 days came and went, didn't hear anything. So again, it was time to spend a bunch of time on hold. And they said, well, just wait a little bit longer. So I did. Finally got an email saying they were going to refund me in the amount of $75, which is $423 short $423.51 short of what I was told I would be getting and what I needed to get to cover the expenses that had been incurred. And once again, it was time to go on hold and wait quite a while to talk to somebody, who then put me on hold and transferred me to somebody else. This took up another close to 9 hours, I would say. And then that person told me, there's nothing I can do, just use the online chat and ask somebody tomorrow. So with that bit of helpful advice, I just did the online chat again. They gave me an email address to send my claim issue to. Said I'd be contacted within 10 business days. I still have not been. So, long story short, if you don't want to have a lot of unexpected extra expenses that you can't afford, and you don't want your flights canceled last minute, don't fly with JetBlue. The flying experience with them is perfectly fine. They have nice planes, the staff is okay, I had no problem with them. There were no issues with the flight itself, but they don't have their act together when it comes to scheduling, when it comes to customer service, when it comes to dealing with making up for their own errors and living up to the promises that they make. It simply isn't worth it. So if you're thinking of booking travel with JetBlue, I would strongly advise you not to do it. Farewell.